Next, we'd like to ask KSU Assistant Police Chief Dean Tondiglia to the podium. This is his third time here. I think since Will is the third officer from KSU to earn this distinction. What's in the water cooler there anyway? Now we'll hear from Dean as to why Officer Scritchfield was his choice for the nomination. Dean?
Well, good evening, everybody, and I want to thank you for allowing me to participate in tonight's ceremony. The Mental Health and Recovery Board has been instrumental in recognizing those officers, the men and women in the field, that really do an outstanding job in the CIT program in Portage County. And I got to tell you, I think Portage County does have one of the best CIT programs in the state, by far. I see it, I've seen the results, and I know many of you have seen the results as well. I believe that the CIT program that we have is a great example of how collaboration between law enforcement agencies and mental health organizations in the county can really work and can really have an impact on people's lives in Portage County. It's true, it works. Tonight I'm honored to be able to talk about Officer Will Scritchfield of the Kent State University Police Department. Ever since Will went through the CIT training, he's gone out of his way to go above and beyond what it takes to be a CIT officer. He does it with the utmost compassion and dignity when he's dealing with the people. Will goes out of his way to make sure that those people in need are united with the resources in the community that they need to get through their crisis. And then he goes beyond that. He also goes back and follows up with those individuals to make sure that the needs are being met and that they really are getting what they need. And I want to share a story with you about Will. I'll give you one example. Will stopped an elderly lady driving through campus. And when he stopped her, he recognized that there was something else going on with this lady. Her license was expired, she was elderly, she seemed confused and kind of disheveled, and he recognized something else was going on. He could have easily gave her a citation or a B&B re-examination notice and sent her on his way. But he didn't do that. He gave her the B&B certification notice to have her re-examined, but then he got with the prosecutor's office, and then he got with Adult Protective Services, and then he organized a plan to help this woman. And he went beyond that. He dug a little bit deeper, and he found out that this lady lived by herself and had no other resources in the county helping her. So Will took it upon himself to go out and meet with the lady's neighbor to see if she'd be willing to get involved and help this lady who was in crisis at the time. And this wasn't something Will did in a day. This is something he did over months. And he worked with this lady, he worked with the neighbors, he worked with the organizations to try to help this woman who was in crisis at the time. He could have easily ignored that situation, but he didn't. It wasn't even a call that he was sent to deal with the person in crisis, but that's how important he felt it was. This lady just happened to be traversing the Kent State University campus at the time. I think she was fortunate enough to be stopped by Will Scritchfield. He could have easily passed it on. She had no affiliation with the university. She's not a staff member. She's not a student. And she actually lives in Brimfield. But he still took it upon himself in his time, in his day, to go out there and help her. I think that's one example among many of what Will's done. And for that, I'm very proud of Will, and I want to honor him and tell him congratulations on a job well done. Well deserved.
Thank you, Mr. Tondiglia. Officer Scritchfield, if you'll please join me here at the podium. Officer Will Scritchfield, the Mental Health and Recovery Board of Portage County thanks you for your dedication, service, and your commitment to the principles of CIT. Today, October 14, 2013, we recognize you as the 2013 CIT Officer of the Year. Here's your award, and now it's your turn at the podium.
Thank you. My notes aren't in here. I forgot to bring them. Yeah, I'm not a big public speaker, so I actually did prepare a whole lot of stuff for this. I do got two things I want to talk about, though. First off, I want to thank Dean and everyone else at the department who was involved in not the nomination process and the selection process. It is an honor for me. The second thing I want to talk about is just the Mental Health and Recovery Board, along with the Sheriff's Office in general, in putting on the program. Never having anyone in my personal life in the past with mental health issues, I never really realized what was out there and what some people were dealing with, on an everyday basis. So that really opened my eyes, and I think that's probably what has made me so, passionate about it, and trying to make sure that when you go out and talk to these people, that that's just not where it ends, and you gotta take the time to do the follow-up and make sure that they're getting what they need. Up until that first time you came into contact with them, that wasn't their first day. So I'm sure that when you leave there, it's not going to be their last day. So those are really just the two things I wanted to point out. I just want to thank everyone for the award. It's definitely an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Officer Scritchfield. You know, of course, this is like the Oscars, and you have to come back next year for this event. Thanks to you and to Sharon and your respective departments for understanding that the person in crisis that you come in contact with is worthy of understanding, compassion, and a helping hand. This program not only helps to de-escalate situations for the people involved, but it also helps to preserve the safety of the officers in dealing with people who are not having their best day and maybe don't have the same resources that some others would have for dealing with stressful situations. So this benefits not only the people involved, but very directly the officers as well, and we thank you for taking part in that. So at this point, we're going to reorganize the conference room and convene a board meeting, and we'd like to thank all of you for attending and for your support of the CIT program. Thank you.
I